Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. I have something I don't think I've ever made like ever before. It's a tofu scramble, of course, as you can probably tell, but I don't think I've made this exact combination before because I've never heard of it. So of course, I wanted a tofu scramble, but I wanted to switch things up and try different like flavor combinations. So I was on Pinterest, I was doing some browsing, and I looked up like omelet recipes. And this one was super popular. It's called a Denver omelet. And essentially what's in a Denver omelet are bell peppers, onions, diced up or cubed little pieces of ham, and then the egg scramble and probably cheese, but I didn't add cheese to this. Maybe I should have. But anyway, so what we have here is the actual tofu, the tofu scramble with seasonings and stuff like that. And then I have chopped up bell pepper, and I have chopped up vegan bologna that I got from a brand called Yves. I think I'm saying that correctly, but it looked exactly like ham, even though it was called bologna. So I just used that, diced everything up into like evenly shaped cubes. I'm sure you can see them like littered throughout the tofu. And I did not have any onion because I had an onion at home, and then when I got home, the onion was like completely spoiled. So I could not use the onion. Instead, I just used onion powder when I was doing the seasoning. So that's pretty much it. Again, I feel like the Denver omelet might have had like a cheddar cheese to it. I don't think I have any cheddar cheese. Hold on, I'm gonna check. I do not have any vegan cheddar cheese. That's okay. I had this yesterday without the cheese anyway, and I feel like it'll be just fine. So let's give this a try. I'm gonna try to get a piece of every single bit. I am disappointed that I wasn't able to make this with the actual diced onion. I feel like that would have added a lot more body to it, but let's still try it. What I love about tofu scrambles is that when you add different things to it, the tofu sort of absorbs and infuses with the flavor of the other things. So this has a really strong meaty flavor coming from that vegan bologna throughout. Even in the tofu, it tastes really good. Has a lot of flavor. It's unique. It's different than what I am used to when I do tofu scrambles, because usually I just throw in like spinach and the same old stuff. But this time, this one has like a flavor palette going on. And I think because I did last week, I did the egg white spinach feta thing, and then this week I did a Denver omelet kind of thing. I think I might continue to experiment with different flavor combinations when it comes to tofu scrambles, because I feel like tofu scramble can easily get boring and mundane when we're using the same exact ingredients over and over because it's super easy. But like switching it up every once in a while and trying something new is like super cool, and it makes a traditional vegan dish something completely different. And I will say this does taste completely different than what I'm used to making with tofu scramble. So I definitely suggest giving it a try. If you just look up like Denver omelet on anywhere, you can see what the main ingredients are, and I just added those same ingredients to a tofu scramble. And that was pretty much it. Super easy. Hello again. I just finished breakfast, and lately I've been having an apple right after breakfast just so that I can get some fruit in. And apples are just like so easy, especially now that it's like in season and I can get a ton of apples at the same time that are really fresh and yummy. It's just super convenient. This one is a sweetango apple. I have never heard of that apple in my life, but I saw it at the farmer's market. They looked really pretty, and they're so cute and compact. I just like to cut them in slices, or I cut it in slices, and then I give the ends to my rabbit. I think I talked about this last week. Anyway, that is what I'm having right now. Hello friends, it's that time of the year, where it's like super cold in the middle of the day. I'm freezing, and I'm actually not too hungry. I don't know why I have a very small appetite for the past few days, but I am going to try to have something small but warm and comforting because it's lunchtime. So what I have here, what I'm going to end up doing essentially is concocting something out of a bunch of leftovers that I have. So I have some leftover basmati rice, so that's going to be the first layer of whatever the heck I'm making here. I basically use just half of what is here. I guess I can turn this into a 2-part kind of meal and have this for lunch again tomorrow. But anyway, starting with that. Then I have this leftover vegan chorizo. The other day I made homemade pizza and I used a bunch of different vegetables, and then I used this as like the protein. So I have so much of it left. I have no idea what to do with it. So why not throw it into this bowl? So I guess I don't want too much of this. Okay, and then the final thing, I have a bunch of vegetables that I made last night for dinner. I did like a vegetable dumpling stir fry. So it was basically vegetable dumplings that I boiled and I threw it into a stir fry of a bunch of different other vegetables, plus like an Asian inspired sauce with like liquid aminos, gochujang, mirin, all of that good stuff. And I know that doesn't necessarily make sense with vegan chorizo. We're gonna make it work. Okay, so what we have in here is a bunch of carrots, broccoli, and bell peppers, and again, that sauce. It's not too saucy, so it shouldn't clash too much. Okay, and now that this container has like a lot more space, I'm just gonna dump the leftover rice and the chorizo that I have, and then I have a second meal for tomorrow. Okay, so I've heated it up. I'm also going to show you like a B-roll of what it looks like so you have a better view of it, but I think this is a good mashup of different things that I had just sitting around in my fridge. It smells really good. It smells mostly like chorizo because, as you probably know, like chorizo or vegan chorizo has a very strong flavor, so it's kind of overpowering, but like in a really good way. So let's give this a try. I hope I don't burn my mouth. Hot. Like I said, the chorizo has so much flavor, so it sort of just becomes the star of the dish. And you can never go wrong with a rice bowl. Like, you throw whatever it is that you want in there, and it's delicious. And I will say, the veggies with like that Asian-inspired sauce that I made yesterday, I don't necessarily taste it that much now that the chorizo is in the picture. Overall, really good dish. Super simple. Can't go wrong. Hello again, friends. I'm using the overhead light because it is like pitch black right now, but I'm coming out to tell you about dinner, and I feel like I've talked about this a couple of times on the channel, but it has now become a go-to recipe. One, because it's super easy, and two, because Ian loves it so much, and he constantly asks me to make this really easy recipe. So essentially what it is a baked barbecue tofu. So I have some super firm tofu here. I just break it up into little chicken kind of chunks. I don't know. And then I season it up with poultry seasoning, which is vegan. And then after it's in the oven and it bakes and it gets a little bit crispy on the outside, I toss it in some barbecue sauce. I like to use a thick barbecue sauce because it just coats it way better instead of like a runny barbecue sauce that just falls to the bottom, if that makes sense. So very simple. And then I make mashed potatoes. I use red skin potatoes when I do mashed potatoes because I like to keep the skin on, and red skin potatoes are just really great for that. I just boil the potatoes and then I mash them, and then I add vegan butter and a little bit of garlic powder and black pepper. That's literally it. It's so easy. It takes me a few minutes. And then the last thing, which I forgot to take out of the fridge, is just broccoli. I'm gonna steam the broccoli and just put it on the side. So that's the recipe for that in itself. So super easy. Like I said, everything comes together really quickly, and it's just so good. Ian loves it so much. So yeah, that is all for this week's video. I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you in next week's video.